Cannot candy coat it. It's absolutely massive.
From search to recovery, crews in Texas shifting their priorities after a deadly storm ravages that area. And
people see a train coming and they think they can get out of the way. The next thing they know, it's on top of them. It's that exponential. It's that fast.
Tracking safety after several near misses, rail runner officials say enough is enough. The new devices they want to install to keep you safe.
also breaking overnight, an officer shot in Rio Rancho has died. What we're learning as the day begins. Straight ahead. Good morning. Welcome to the 6 a.m. hour of KRQE News 13 this morning. I'm Adam Atchison.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Crystal Gutierrez. Today's Tuesday, May 26th. We'll get to those stories in just a moment. But first, I want to get you ready for your day.
A little chilly out there. You might need a jacket this morning as you start the day. Kristen Curry has the very latest on what we're facing. Good morning.
Good morning, guys. We'll start with a look at the allergy report. Pine's still going to be an issue for some, up to medium, but everything else down to low for this afternoon. When it comes to how today will unfold, plan on the upper 60s by lunch. Later today, the upper 70s with more clouds building in after lunch. But really, I'm not thinking very significant storm chances for us here in the Duke City. Now, further up in the high elevations of the northern mountains and to the Gila Mountains, that's where we'll see a few pop-up storms go up. But we're going to be lucky if we even get a stray shower today here in the Duke City. Warming up statewide, we're getting closer to where we should be for this time in May. Unseasonably cool this month, but with the upper 70s kicking in today and the 80s heading into tomorrow, that will feel a lot better and more normal for this time of year. But when is our next storm going to make its way into the state? I'll have details on that coming up.
And we continue to follow some overnight breaking news this morning. A Rio Rancho police officer has died after what police say looks like a traffic stop gone wrong. Also just in, Bernalillo County Sheriff's deputies say they believe they have one suspect in custody, but they're still searching for the other suspect and an SUV. It all happened near Pine Tree and Southern in Rio Rancho. Let's turn now to News 13's Catherine Mazzone. She's live there as the day begins with the very latest. Catherine?
That's right, Adam. Police have been out here all night trying to figure out exactly what happened. Take a look behind me. You can still see a pretty active scene here. There's a crime scene unit as well as the officer's vehicle who was involved in the shooting. Now, so far, all police can tell us is that a Rio Rancho police officer had an interaction with a man and a woman in an SUV, and at some point, things turned violent.
It appears as though it was a traffic stop. It wasn't the result of the officer looking for them specifically. It appears that it was circumstances that unfolded in front of the officer.
Now, this all started just after 8 o'clock last night. Police say the officer made contact with the two suspects. Now, again, this part is a little unclear, but police think the man and woman may have left in a hurry. That's when they think the officer gave chase. Now, it was the second run-in, however, they believe turned deadly. Police are now working with law enforcement like state police to try to track down that second suspect. But they're warning the public to be careful.
They are prone to violence. As you can see, the outcome from our officers' interaction with them last evening. So please use all caution and stay away from the subjects.
This is the first Rio Rancho police officer shot in the line of duty. Back to you.
Catherine, thank you. That vehicle is described as a 1999 Dodge Durango with the New Mexico plate 331RAT. You're urged to call the number on your screen if you have any information that may help investigators. We're also staying on top of all of the latest developments in this story. We're continuing to keep you updated all morning long. You can use the KRQE News app right now for further up-to-the-minute details.
We turn now to some developing news. Rail runner officials are looking to take new steps to keep people from getting near the tracks. This after several near misses. Gates will soon surround areas where people can get to the track easily. The move comes after several incidents on the train tracks like this one, including trash left behind like a piñata we showed you last week that forced the commuter train to stop so it could be cleared from the tracks. Also last week, take a look at this man who stepped really close to the train, which also stopped service.
It's dangerous. It's not even just when you're on the track. When you're next to the track, the train overhangs the track. It can hit you from the side as well.
So the new guards will cost about $100,000 federal dollars. No set date on when they'll be put in place.
Time is 6:04 happening right now. Recovery operations are expected to resume this morning here, where flooding has ravaged the town of Wimberley, Texas. Late Monday night, emergency officials ended their search for survivors after a deadly storm brought tornadoes and record-breaking rainfall to the state. 12 people are still missing after their vacation home was swept away. The Blanco River has breached its banks now. That's destroyed and damaged more than 1,000 homes. And that same system also sparked twisters in Mexico, killing more than a dozen people. More than 24 hours after a water main break in Albuquerque, the surrounding area still affected this morning. That break forced some to spend the weekend without water at all. It happened at the intersection of Candelaria and Vassar. The Water Authority tells us the road will remain closed for a few days as crews work to fix that break.
An underground sinkhole is being blamed for shutting down State Highway 219 just north of Pintada in Guadalupe County. Take a look at the video here. It looks so deep, crews describe it as a cave. They're waiting for a giant excavator to make repairs there.
New this morning, workers at the nuclear waste repository in southern New Mexico are installing a new temporary ventilation system. And that new system is said to increase airflow at the underground facility. There will be 2 above-ground filter units and fans that will have ductwork that feed to the underground part of WIP. Since the February 2014 spill, the air has been leaving through filters. Problem with that, they say, is that the ventilation could be reduced based on the filter's capacity. The new system will allow more workers to go underground at any given time.
And we're following up for you this morning. The Santa Fe City Council could vote this week on a proposal that would make it easier for food trucks to sell to you. The Albuquerque Journal reports that the resolution allows 3 food trucks to park within the plaza. And under the proposal, they can't park in any one spot for more than 3 hours. It also cannot, or rather they also cannot set up shop near a restaurant when it's open for business.
6 minutes past the hour, beer geeks go head-to-head in the ultimate competition. Yesterday was the 2nd annual Battle of the Beer Geeks at Tractor Brewery. Local craft beer groups went head-to-head in a taste test. Organizers say it all started by each group creating a specially formulated beer.
These are all people who brew in their spare time and have the same passion that we have on the professional side of things. But this is an opportunity for them to come into our environment and create something out of their passion.
5 groups entered, 5 beers were tasted. A champion beer geek will be chosen and we'll keep you posted.
This will put a smile on your face as you start your Tuesday morning. Happening right now, a 2-year-old Shiprock toddler who needed a liver transplant because of a rare genetic condition is recovering in California this morning. Caden Charlie, right there, that little guy, has a condition that affects his ability to absorb nutrition and food. But according to the Farmington Daily Times, Caden found a match and had that transplant done. The family plans to stay there until they're sure the transplant is a success.
Hopefully it is for him.
Yeah, we hope the best for him this morning. It's now 6:07. Developing right now, the family of the late blues legend B.B. King is demanding an autopsy. 2
of King's daughters say they suspect foul play led to the guitarist's death. In identically worded affidavits, the women say, quote, "I believe my father was murdered and that he was administered foreign substances." Family members allege that King was poisoned by 2 of his closest aides. However, the coroner says initial autopsy results find no evidence of that. King died May 14th in home hospice care in Las Vegas at the age of 89. We turn now to this. Police in New Hampshire have arrested a teen suspect in a brazen daylight robbery caught on surveillance cameras. Take a look at this. You can see the teen. He follows a senior citizen outdoors. While she loads her purchases into her car, the suspect grabs the purse from her cart. Then he runs off right there. Police say someone found the purse partially destroyed on a road near a Walmart there. They say the victim did not even realize it had been stolen until they called her. The teen, if he's caught, is facing a charge of theft and possibly other charges on that. Hopefully somebody does recognize him. Yeah.
Brave bystander helped pedestrian help stop a car chase and get the driver in handcuffs.
And recovering honor, the unexpected place. A New Mexico couple found a soldier's prized possession. Plus,
Obviously, nobody would want to see any of their co-workers hurt.
We're following breaking overnight news. Officials now confirming the officer involved in a shooting in Rio Rancho last night has died. What we've learned in the past few hours just ahead. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to KRQE News 13 this morning. I'm Krista Gutierrez.
I'm Adam Atchison. It's Tuesday, May 26th. As we start the day, lots to talk about, including the weather forecast. Interesting temperature out there.
Oh, yeah, and a big change from yesterday.
Yeah.
You felt the winds, you felt the rain. Not so much today. Let's get right to Kristen Curry.
And that's right, guys. We're going to take a break for the most part. More sunshine and warmer temperatures filling in this afternoon. We'll start with a live look up at Purgatory Durango. You can see not too bad. Man, those trampolines are enticing. No, it's definitely going to be a day you want to get outside. That's for sure. Upper 70s. We're finally getting back to normal. We should be at about 82 degrees for this time in May. We'll get there tomorrow, but at least temperatures are on the upswing. The winds will be light today out of the west, only about 5 to 15 miles per hour. But changes on the way as early as Thursday. We'll have more on who can see those storms coming up here in about 10 minutes.
Right now, we're following breaking news. The Rio Rancho officer who was shot last night on duty has died.
Also, just into our newsroom this morning, one of the suspects is believed to be in custody. This all happened near Pine Tree and Southern in Rio Rancho. That's where we find News 13's Catherine Azone. She's learned more about the officer who died. Good morning, Catherine.
Good morning, Crystal. Now, this has been going on all night. Police have been out here trying to piece together exactly what happened. If you take a look behind me, you can still see an active crime scene. You see the New Mexico State Police crime van, as well as the officers unit itself. Now, so far, all police can tell us is that a Rio Rancho police officer had an interaction with a man and a woman in an SUV, and at some point, things turned violent.
It appears as though it was a traffic stop. It wasn't the result of the officer looking for them specifically. It appears that it was circumstances that unfolded in front of the officer.
This all started just after 8 o'clock last night. Police say the officer made contact with the two suspects. Now, again, this part is a little unclear, but police think the man and woman took off. That's when they believe the officer gave chase. It was the second run-in that they believe turned deadly. Now, just this morning, Bernalillo County deputies say they believe they have one of the suspects in custody. Now, this is a very dark day for the department. The officer who was killed on Memorial Day was a veteran himself.
Obviously, there's not a whole lot of words that can be easy to explain or to kind of minimize somebody's loss. That pain is there, and I'm sure it will continue to be there for some time yet to come.
Now, the identity of the officer has yet to be released, but here's what we do know. He was 49 years old and leaves behind a wife and 5 children. This is the first Rio Rancho police officer to be shot and killed in the line of duty. Back to you.
All right, thanks so much, Catherine. Very tough time for the department, as you saw the captain choke up there a little bit. So police are still looking for the second suspect and that SUV. It's described as a 1999 Dodge Durango with a New Mexico license plate of 331 RAT. You're asked to call police if you have any information about the vehicle or what happened last night. We're staying on top of all the developments in this story. We will keep you updated all morning long. You can also get up-to-the-minute updates on our KRQE News app.
Meantime, while you were sleeping, Albuquerque police investigated 2 major crime scenes in the northwest part of the city. Police say a stolen car chase ended with shots fired at Rio Grande and Indian School yesterday. Albuquerque police say it started at Rio Grande and Floral when a vehicle was stolen. The driver took off from an apartment complex, crashing into a truck. At some point, a woman and a child jumped out. The male driver was later arrested at the second scene. Nobody was seriously hurt. Happening today, we could learn more about a deadly crane crash that killed 2 people. A makeshift memorial now lines the gates outside Kin's Tree Company near Juan Tabo and Central. Neighbors say Ken Raschik, a professional tree cutter, was giving some kids a ride Sunday afternoon when a gust of wind caused the crane to tip over and fall nearly 40 feet. Raschik and a 12-year-old boy died. 3 other kids are still in the hospital right now, 2 in critical condition. Police do expect to have a final report available later today.
We turn now to this mystery solved this morning. What turned out to be stolen dog tags are with their rightful owner. Recently, a Roswell couple found the dog tags in a dumpster while looking for scrap metal this Memorial Day weekend. Soon after, Venus and James Waddell took to social media to find the owner and track down 81-year-old Jim Robertson. The dog tags belong to his son, who died last year from heart problems.
We returned the dog tags yesterday, and the father was very grateful. But the story is not complete.
Yeah, she's right about that. We learned crooks broke into a storage locker and stole the dog tags with some more medals. The medals are still missing this morning. If you have any information, you're asked to call Roswell Police.
6:36 at Arlington National Cemetery. President Obama, top military leaders all honored those who served and died in battle on Memorial Day. The commander-in-chief laid a wreath at the tomb of the unknown soldier, which is, of course, an annual tradition. In just hours now, the Justice Department is expected to outline steps for Cleveland Police Department to take after a pattern of excessive force. This comes days after a judge declared a white Cleveland police officer not guilty of manslaughter in the deadly shooting of a black couple there. Police had stopped their car, and moments later, the officer stood on the hood and fired 15 shots through the windshield. He says he felt threatened. About a dozen officers fired a total of 137 rounds at the car. No other officers were charged. The verdict prompted protest and dozens of arrests.
New this morning, Australia's Prime Minister is getting aggressive on terrorism in his country, announcing plans today to pass a law that would take citizenship away from suspected terrorists. That's even if they are not convicted. But the suspects must also be dual nationals. The government taking the stance as more than 100 Australians are thought to be fighting with the terrorist groups in the Middle East. The government hopes to have the law in place within weeks. It is, however, subject to appeal by a judge.
If you have a moment to look at your screen, take a look at this video out of Los Angeles. A man stopping a police chase single-handedly there in a busy city. You can see he just walks right in front of that car, forcing the driver to stop. Police say the guy in the black car was driving slowly, but he refused to pull over and only surrendered after the man blocked his car. The driver was arrested. They pulled the guy away from the car. I don't know if they thought maybe he was involved or something, but in the end, he was just helping out.
It's just crazy. That's community policing at its finest. Take a look at him. He just kind of holds a suspect there. He's like, you know what? I'm taking things into my own hands. You stay here. Cops move in.
And the guy surrenders.
Take the suspect.
Sticks his hands up in the middle of the car and then opens the door. Wow.
So crazy.
Couldn't ask for a more interesting outcome.
That's true.